Alright, are we guys? Are we live? I think we are. Hello all and welcome back to Women's Football Chat Live. Our night of Champions League action continues after two dramatic games in the early part of the evening as Manchester United lost 5-2 to Wolfsburg in the end, and Lyonnais drew 3-3 with Juventus. So two big scorelines to start the evening. We've now got three big games headed our way. Our attention will be on the game at Meadow Park as Arsenal take on Real Madrid. We don't have a lot of time before kick-off, so let's get into the lineups for the home side. It's Van Domselaar between the sticks. A back four of Fox, Wumoy, Catley and Katie McCabe. In the midfield, a midfield three of Kunikros, Caldente and Marnham, with the Caldente, Kunikros pivot and Marnham in the 10. On one side it's Kelly, on the other Smith, leading the line, Alessia Russo. As for Real Madrid, Rodriguez in goal, a back four of Navarro, Mendes, Lacra and Ribeiro. In the pivot, it is Angeldal and Brits. On one side, Athenea. On the other, Linda Caicedo. In the 10, it's Caroline Weir. And in the line, Naomi Feller. What do you make of the two sides? Who to look out for in this game, Harry?
Two very good sides. Good to see some changes for Arsenal. So Olivia Smith coming in to start. That, for me, is going to be the danger point for the Gunners. Has looked good off the bench in the last two games against Chelsea and Tottenham in the league. Comes on in to start tonight. And yeah, very, very dangerous player. Is going to be a thorn in the Real Madrid side. But yeah, two good sides for Real Madrid. Again, we're looking at Linda Caicedo as that magic player, but with the experience of Caroline Weir in there, will look to play a key role in this one. But two good sides, a repeat of last year's quarter-final, which saw the first leg dominated by Real Madrid, the second leg dominated by Arsenal, and they turned it around at the Emirates. So a bit of history in the Champions League between these two sides, but a big test for the reigning champions, who are in desperate need, you feel, of a victory tonight, in a bit of a poor position in the table. But tonight, a win would steady themselves and look to kick on with their last two fixtures being a bit more favourable. So yeah, big test for the champions. Real Madrid, a very, very good side who have also started the Champions League. They've actually started the Champions League pretty well, still unbeaten. So yeah, should be a very, very close encounter. Could go either way. Will be interesting to see what version of Real Madrid turns up, but two very good sides, and hopefully the drama from earlier is going to continue on into tonight.
Yeah, indeed. Well, we don't have a lot of time, so let's get into predictions. If you want to get involved in the live chat. Let us know your scoreline prediction. We're going to start here in the studio, as always. We'll start with yourself, Harry. Will Weir steer them clear, or will Caldente make them pay?
Oh, I like that. I am going to say Arsenal to win the football match. I will say the Arsenal 3, Real Madrid 1. I think the reigning European champions will have enough quality to see off Real Madrid this evening, and will get back to winning ways after what has been a bit of a patchy run with the draw to Chelsea, the loss to Bayern Munich and the draw to Tottenham on Sunday. I think they'll bounce back with a bit more energy and a bit more fight than they had in that North London derby. I will say Arsenal goals for Russo, Smith and McCabe, and a Real Madrid goal from Linda Caicedo, but it won't be enough to turn the game around. Arsenal victory, getting them back on track, and as I say, getting a win for the first time in 3.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to go the opposite way. I think it has been a night of goal-scoring action across the Champions League. I think that theme will continue. I'm going to say Arsenal 1, Real Madrid 4. I think it will be a big victory for the visitors. So big, in fact, Harry's splitting his drink all over the table. I was going to say 3, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to say 4. I think it'll be a big win for Real tonight. And I'm not always Real Madrid's biggest talker-upper. You seem disgusted by my prediction.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see a world where Arsenal get played off the park like that, especially by a Real Madrid side that obviously Arsenal can be played off the park, but I don't see them being smashed like that. And this Real Madrid side have been so inconsistent this season. You just never know what you're going to get. It could be an A-star performance for Real Madrid. It could be terrible. I mean, think about the game where they turned Roma over 6-2. That was a phenomenal game, but some of the performances in the league this season have been terrible from Real Madrid. I didn't think they were very good last time out in the Champions League against Paris FC. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I don't see 4-1 Real Madrid at all. I think that's very unlikely it happens. If it does happen, then I'll hold my hands out and admit I was wrong. But yeah, I don't see that happening.
Sometimes you've got to have a ticket to win the lottery. That's a bold prediction there. If it comes off, it comes off. I also completely forgot Real Madrid got torn apart by a Barcelona side and Bonmati didn't even bother showing up until after the hour mark. So yeah, she did still score, of course, in that game. But yeah, they're not coming into it in great form. But I think they'll get a win over. I'm sorry, probably won't be 4-1. I would like to revise my prediction to 2-1, please. Thank you.
That's come down a lot.
Yeah.
See,
Well, it's almost 1-1.
see, I can see that happening, but yeah, as I said, Real Madrid are a really weird one because I think the results don't show. In some games, the results they flatten them a little bit, but in other games, I think they're really unfair. The Barcelona game, for example, that was 2-0 into two stoppage time goals made that 4-0 to Barcelona, and suddenly 4-0 compared to 2-0 looks a lot more uncompetitive. But as I said, other games like that Roma game, was that ever a 6-2? Probably not. It was 3-2 at half time. Real Madrid ran away the second half. But yeah, Real Madrid are unpredictable. Arsenal, to be honest, are performance-wise they're a bit predictable, but their results are unpredictable. So I think tonight is going to be a very interesting encounter that really anything can happen.
Yeah, indeed. Phil, welcome to the stream. It's evening all to Naka. Welcome to the stream as well. And Mr. S says the United game was a shock. It was indeed. And now it will be Real Madrid to get us underway, knocks it back, and run away here at Boreham Wood for Arsenal taking on Real Madrid. Not the setting you'd usually expect a game of such calibre. Linda Caicedo, great pass through the lines into Caroline Weir, blocked away well by Ruben Moyer. Now Arsenal will look to play Marnham onto Olivia Smith. Arsenal looking to come forwards. McCabe. Now Cooney Cross.
Really depends how the game is going to go. If Arsenal can get into their rhythm and settle in possession, then they're going to have control. They're going to dictate the tempo and make it difficult for Real Madrid. If Madrid can turn this into a bit of an end-to-end affair that will come down to clinicality, then that suddenly does start to even the playing field a lot more. So can Real Madrid force Arsenal out of that comfortability zone, or will Arsenal just go on to play the way they usually play and look to control the game? It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'm intrigued what Real Madrid are doing. I don't know if it's just because they pumped it long and players are just slightly out of position, but it's Athenia off the left at the moment, Caicedo in the 10. And it does seem to be continuing that way, so that's a little bit interesting. Here comes Arsenal, McCabe darting inside. Now Marnham receives it well, pokes it wide. And Kelly, has she kept that on? Well, she'll hope she hasn't, and she hasn't, because that was a pass straight to Athenia.
Yeah, as I say, I think that one actually benefiting Arsenal, the fact that has been called back for a throw-in.
I feel going 7-1 Arsenal. So there's a prediction. I thought my 4-1 Real Madrid was a bit wild.
Everyone's gone a bit crazy tonight. I think the action earlier has sent everyone a bit doolally.
If anyone else has got a high-scoring prediction, stick it in the live chat. Let's have some fun. Real Madrid breaking it down the right-hand side. Smith goes to close the angle. Nice work, though, from Navarro. Forced back now into the goalkeeper Rodriguez.
Just feels with Real Madrid that every time they make a step forwards, they make 2 steps backwards. Last year they got Champions League quarterfinals and, obviously as we said, beat Arsenal in the first leg. They beat Barcelona for the first time in the El Clasico. And so far this season, they have been horrendous at times. They have stayed the ship recently.
Ball into the box now, straight on the top of Rodriguez, though. The delivery there from Fox. And so that will be Real Madrid now building out from the back. Rodriguez throws to Mendes. Nice pass forward into Angeldal. Back to Mendes. Rodriguez. It feels like Real... Oh, that's a poor pass out, picked off by Mariano Caldente. Can Arsenal make something of it? Struck on the edge of the box. Blocked by Lacra. Denying Cooney cross there. McCabe into Smith. Can she make something happen here? Olivia Smith looks to take on Navarro. Ball across the box. It's taken away from the head of Alessia Russo. Well, here is Fox. Kelly. Plays it forwards into Marnham. Holds it up well. Now Fox. Back to Chloe. Kelly. And that a weak shot from Kelly. And gives possession back to Real Madrid. But I feel looking at this Real side, they haven't appeared to lose much, but you feel like they are a worse team. The only player they've lost is Olga Carmona. We're underestimating the impact of a left-back who can't defend.
Potentially so. I think it's more just the deals they have made not coming off. I mean, Merla Firms comes in and instantly gets injured. That didn't help at all. Misa Rodriguez back in net, who is the captain for tonight. But do I think she's a better goalkeeper than Merla Firms? Absolutely not. I think that, again...
I feel a lot of their new signings are just on the bench.
Yeah, because they started the season and it didn't go well, and they've just gone back to the players they know will get them the job done domestically that just don't make them better in the Champions League.
Yeah, well, Sarah Holmgard was brought in to replace old Carmona. She doesn't get in the side this evening. Hannah Bennison making the bench this evening for Real Madrid, but doesn't start. They brought in Lotte Koikala as well from Ajax. And she hasn't had a lot of involvement yet.
Feels like they do the same thing every year. Buy loads of players, start them all at the start of the season, it doesn't work, so they just go back to what they know. Go back to the players that were doing the job. I still think they've got a problem scoring goals. I don't think Naomi Feller is a consistent goal scorer.
Ball into the box, and that's headed wide. A good chance for Arsenal. Wide of the mark, though, and I think it's through to Marnham, and we've got the last touch in there.
Yeah, great delivery from Kelly. And Marnham.
Just
it's close.
nodding it wide.
Does well, gets up, gets under it, gets gets over it, but can't quite find the far corner. Positive start from Arsenal. Again, it's kind of what we spoke about United, who started fast and obviously got that goal in the 15th minute. But Arsenal here, much sharper, look more alive than they have done in any of their last 3 games, really.
Cooney cross. Now it's with Ruben Moy, goes wide into Emily Fox. Looks to shift it inside. Cooney cross. Back to Kelly. And that doesn't quite come off, and here's Athenia, who wants to take on Emily Fox. Lays it in behind, looking to target Feller up against Ruben Moy, but it's run back well by Ruben Moy. Plays it into Kelly. Knocks it down the line. And that is dealt with by Lacroix.
We saw how crucial the battle between Fox and Buell was last week in Munich, and I think, again, it's going to be that key battle this time between Fox and Athenia. If Fox can keep her quiet, then Real Madrid aren't going to have too much to write home about. But if Athenia can create opportunities, then Arsenal could be in trouble.
McCabe into the box. Angeldal will get there. And Mendes on hand to clear that away.
It's been a little bit shaky defensively from Real Madrid, and Arsenal are causing a few problems. It is going to be a long evening for Ava Navarro with Olivia Smith running at her.
Yeah. Strong there from Lacroix, dealing well with Russo, but she squeezed it back into Chloe Kelly. That ball, though, floated towards the back post, and Navarro heading away unopposed. But it's interesting to see Navarro in that role, obviously more typically a winger. But Real Madrid haven't had that quality in fullback positions. That's poor from Ruben Moy. Dispossessed by Feller, who's driving it forwards now. Can she feed it through to Caicedo? She'll get around Catley well. Not a great pass, though, from Feller. Caicedo does well to make anything of it. Here's Athenia. Ball driven in. It's low, though, and it's blocked. And now here is Navarro, who can take aim. And that is the useful thing of having a fullback who can play as a winger. And you do get that attacking upside as well. Picked off there. Poor pass from McKay. Feller wins it back. Here is Caroline Weir. And forced backwards there. Angeldal. Now it's with Mela Lacra. Into Caicedo. Tidy touch from Linda Caicedo, who now wants to just drift inside well. Chance now for Weir. That's blocked. There's a call for it to be the arm of Ruben Moy. Referee, though, hasn't given anything yet.
I think that'll...
We'll have a look. It has hit her arm, but it's narrow and tucked into the body.
Yeah, she'll be fine with that one. But Real Madrid there, picking up on 2 poor passes from Arsenal in their own third and not doing anything with it. We saw how earlier on United's errors were capitalised on by Wolfsburg, and that is why Wolfsburg won that football match. If Arsenal are going to make sloppy passes and Real Madrid are going to pounce on it, they've got to get shots away. Got to make it count tonight. When Arsenal make errors, Real Madrid have got to pounce on them, because already a couple there playing out the back from the Gunners, but Madrid, don't make anything from it.
Van Domselaar, that's a poor pass. Catley giving it away. And now Real Madrid can play. But yeah, both sides aren't great at the back, I think, at the moment. And it's going to be which side can capitalise on that.
Yeah.
Arsenal weren't really tested at all defensively by Tottenham. Tottenham were happy to sit deeper. What we saw there was a good defence. Arsenal couldn't break down. But they'll get chances tonight. Real Madrid are not a perfect defence by any stretch of the imagination. And Real Madrid will also get chances. So it's going to be quite an end-to-end game. Again, it feels very similar to what we just watched between Wolfsburg and Man United. 2 sides who are really good going forwards, but defensively pretty poor at the moment. Van Domselaar into Lotto with Moy. Now Cooney cross. And that's strong from Feller, and she's won the ball back, and that a little bit harsh and very lucky for the Australian midfielder.
Yeah, I think Cooney Cross gets away from there. I'm not sure it is a foul. It's on the line, but again, you've got to be smart about those things. With VAR in operation, let that play on, let Feller go on and score, then give the free kick, and then let VAR have a look at it. By giving the free kick immediately, you don't allow the chance for Feller to go on and score.
Yeah, indeed. Battling midfield is a foul on Kelly there.
Yeah, Yasmin's just followed all the way in there and tripped her up. Oh, sorry, actually, no, it wasn't her, to be fair. She just ran away like she was guilty. Smart from Kelly, though. But as you say, this is going to be end-to-end football. Neither side look very comfortable on the ball at the moment. It's just going to come down. Who can take their chances? Who can find the back of the net when it matters most?
Navarro into Feller. Poked away from her, though, by Cooney Cross. And Arsenal have possession here. Steph Catley. Kante drops in to receive the ball. Now knocks out to the left-hand side. McCabe holding the width well. Now slows it down. Caldente. Back to Lotta Woobenmoy. And now Fox. And here's Woobenmoy. And that'll go all the way back to Daphne van Donselaar. Catley. Ball played forwards. Marnham will get there. Good hold up from Alessia Russo, sorry. Wants to take on Mendes. Pass back inside to Smith. Who can take aim? Olivia Smith just getting too much behind that and sending it over the bar.
Yeah, good move from Arsenal. Let off ball Real Madrid. Somebody has got to get out here and close Olivia Smith down. You cannot afford to give the Canadian that much time and space on the edge of the area. And Olivia Smith will be frustrated. She didn't manage to keep that one down. Got a lot of power behind it, but also a lot of lift.
And while it remains 0-0 here, opening goal in the game between Volorenja and SKN at St Paulton. It is Volorenja 1, St Paulton 0. Karina Savic with the goal there, set up by Lynn Tenebo. Ball forwards for Real Madrid, headed down by Katie McCabe. We're still goalless, by the way, in the game between Paris FC and Benfica.
Yeah, that Volorenga game is one that Arsenal fans want to keep an eye on, because as it stands, if Volorenga do win there, they will jump Arsenal, I believe, in the table.
Yes. Volorenja would be up to 8th and 3 points ahead of Arsenal.
Wow.
Oh, sorry, 2 points if this is a draw.
Long way to go here, though.
Yeah, throw in on this near side then, and it'll be Emily Fox to take it.
Arsenal need a settler. It just feels like they need get a goal in the bank and give yourselves a bit of cushion, a bit of something to work with. The longer it stays 0-0, the more Real Madrid are going to get into this game.
Woobenmoy. Forward pass into Russo, who's dropped deep to receive the ball. Now Caldente pokes it forwards, looking for Frida Marnham. I have to say, I feel if you're going to use Russo up front, you need Frida Marnham in the 10.
Yeah.
You need someone who's going to want to replace her in that central position. So if Russo does drop in, Marnham's happy to make that run beyond.
Yeah.
And offer, a bit box presence, someone to hold the ball up. I don't think it's too bad. Mendes. Weir. Can't quite hold on to that ball.
Again, a little bit sloppy out the back from Real Madrid, get away with it, managed to sit out for a throw, but should probably do better. They don't look like they haven't actually won a free kick. Not really sure what for, but yeah, it's going to come on the break for Real. It's going to be through an Arsenal error, you feel. Unless players like Caicedo, players like Athenia can get on the ball and make things happen.
Cooney Cross. Now Emily Fox. Caicedo putting pressure on her. That's out for an Arsenal throw. Fox. Into Cooney Cross. Mendes. Caicedo. Now Mendes. Back into Linda Caicedo. Receives it well. Turns away from Cooney Cross into Weir. Exchanges with Navarro. Back now into Mendes. Plays it through the lines. That's cut out well by Mariano Caldente. Strong in there from Philippa Angeldal. Just knocking out of play.
Yeah. And again, well defended.
Ruben Moy. Into Steph Catley. Ruben Moy round the corner. Into Marnham, being forced backwards here are Arsenal. Now that forward pass into Emily Fox, who's come inside. Caldente. Into McCabe. Nice move from Arsenal. Now wide into Smith. Navarro will close the angle. De Brits goes in support. Smith. Now McCabe touches a little loose. Mariona Caldente. She's dispossessed by Weir. And now here come Real Madrid, and it's Linda Caicedo leading the charge. Has Feller in support. Caicedo, great tackle from Lotte Ruben-Moy. And it's one back though by the Colombian. One back again though by Lotte Ruben-Moy. McCabe puts Fox in a bit of trouble. Athenia will chase it down. And Van Donslark gets it clear.
Again, it's not a good... It is good initially from Arsenal. And then it's either forced or it's just a sloppy pass and it allows Real Madrid to come forwards and cause some problems. Again, they got away with that one because they recovered it, but they can't rely on Emily Fox recovering it every single time.
No, there's a poor pass backwards from McCabe. Just put under the cosh a bit. McCabe in no rush yet.
I'm not really sure that was from either player. Both of them take an opportunity to run the clock down in the 16th minute.
Catley. Now Ruben-Moy. Out towards the left-hand side. Smith brings it down. Navarro closes her down. Makes it impossible for her to turn. McCabe. Inside to Caldente. And now it's with Ruben-Moy. Fox. Ruben-Moy. Caldente. Receives it well. Knocks out to the right-hand side. Here's Chloe Kelly. Flicks it straight at Yasmin. Now wants to come inside. Kelly. Into the feet of Russo. Who holds it up well. Shifts it on to the run of Fox. Can't quite get there as it's cleared away.
Again, good move from Arsenal. Final ball just lacking. But still causing problems for Real Madrid. So it's just that final ball, that final, trying to get a shot off and testing Misa Rodriguez.
Yeah, not sure what's been given there. So free kick against Arsenal. Or throw-in.
Yeah,
and an injury.
Yeah, Real Madrid throw. McCabe went down a few moments ago. Yeah, it just gets trodden on. Probably is a foul. I think they get away with one there a little bit, Real Madrid. But McCabe is all right to continue. Real Madrid with the throw then.
A second goal in the game between Volorania and St Paulton. It's Oleg Tvedten with the goal there. As Volorania lead by 2-0. And now Real Madrid playing to the left-hand side. Yasmin squeezes that pass forward. Great hold up from Athenia, who spins well. And then is forced backwards into Lacra. Athenia to Lacra. And now Angeldal. Really enjoying this Real Madrid structure. Angeldal splitting the centre-backs. Caicedo tucking in, Navarro overlapping. I can see why it doesn't work, because I don't feel that they've got the right profiles in every spot, but in terms of Angeldar dropping in, that's really nice. In terms of being able to form that midfield three with De Brits, Caicedo and Weir splitting wide. But you need very athletic fullbacks. I'm not sure Yasmin is that. Not 100% sure Navarro is that either.
Yeah.
Here is Angeldal. Now Mendes. Plays it forward, looking for Naomi Feller in the channel. And here come Real Madrid. Feller holds it up well. McCabe now comes back in. Feller waiting for support. Here is Philippa Angeldal. Feed it through the line. It's not a great pass. Arsenal could counter. Marnham. Catley. Cross now to with Moy. Plays it forwards. Great control in there from Alessia Russo. He brings it down on her chest. Now out to the right-hand side. Kelly. Back into Russo. And now with Moy just drilling it across the pitch. And that's a really good interception there from Ava Navarro. Read the play well and dealt with it effectively.
Yeah, you just feel that Real Madrid they're not stopping Arsenal, but they're just keeping them at arm's length. Allowing Arsenal to have the ball, allowing Arsenal to have these moves across the pitch and for players to shift around and get them forwards. But once the Gunners get towards that penalty area, Real Madrid just tighten up a little bit.
Ball in from Marnham, and that's chested down well by Lacra. Now Real can play. Yasmin. Marnham tries to bring her down. Forward pass from Yasmin. Kelly into the box. Marnham tries to touch it back. Picked off in there by Debritz. And she'll carry the ball forwards now. Athenea. Comes across. One back in there by Kelly. But she can't quite find a teammate with her pass. Yeah, Yasmin.
Just decision making for Real Madrid. I mean, initially Yasmin tried to run it out from the corner. Fell over trying to win a foul. Failed because she wasn't fouled. And probably got away with one. And again, they're Athenea running back towards her own goal. Nearly got dispossessed. Just got to make those right decisions in these kind of big games, Real Madrid.
Does just feel though, Arsenal aren't capitalising.
They're not. That is true. It's not like Arsenal, turned the ball over and had a go. But yeah.
I think it's got to be better from Arsenal in those areas. I think a lot of their attackers at the moment are just struggling to offer much. Russo's dropping deep well, but the link-up isn't really there. Kelly's got on the ball a lot tonight, but she's been dispossessed with most of her actions. Ball out now from Russo, finding Kelly. Slots it back down the line into Fox. Back to Kelly. And that ball into the box. Chance now. Bounces around between Russo and Marnham. And that will drop back to Rodriguez.
Yeah, couldn't really make any proper contact with that. Russo kind of just fell onto her head. And towards the goal.
The problem with that, the problem with the delivery is it's meant for Marnham, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or it falls back for Marnham, but Alessia Russo's not going to leave the ball in the penalty area, but her contact does make it difficult for Marnham. Sent forwards, his fella. Angeldal tries to squeeze out to the left-hand side. Doesn't quite come off. Alex says, Paul Benison was a starter for Juve, now bench warming for Real. Yeah, I mean, she's probably on more money, and she's joined a more exciting project if she gets the opportunity. But she also signed before Debritz, or was that afterwards? Because if it was afterwards, that's a bit of an odd one. If it's before, then she's unlucky.
Wasn't yeah, especially, and then you think once Leopold's left, you thought that Benison would come in and be that Leopold's replacement.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So they knew Leopold was leaving in the summer. You'd think they'd replace him with either Benison or Debritz. I know they're not the same profile. I guess Benison's more the long-term replacement for Caroline Weir. Weir is already 30, and if Benison's looking at the long-term optics of that, even if she's a bench player this season, she may look to try and displace her next season.
Yeah.
Arsenal now building out from the back. Catley. Caldente back to Catley. Looks to go up the line. Header on by Navarro. Here's Caicedo. Lacra. Stefan Gunnarsson says Tove Emblom of Volorenio is the goalkeeper match day 3. With Musovic back soon. Sweden will have 3 equally good goalkeepers next year. Big competition between them, but no Earps Hampton type drama. True, that'd be interesting. Ball in behind, looking for Feller. Van Domselaar will sweep up. Caicedo. Yeah, I've been massively impressed by him, but I've been impressed by Valencia as a whole. You know, I think they're very unlucky not to take something from Wolfsburg. I think they were unlucky not to take something from United in Matchweek 1. Obviously, they did beat... who did they beat last week? Roma, which was a bit of a surprise, but they thoroughly deserve that. At the moment, they are cruising to victory against SK St Polten. And when you think that their last two matches are Paris FC, which you'd view as winnable, and then Bayern.
They drew to Bayern last year.
Very true. And again, it all depends on how the situation lies, because here come Arsenal, Marlon across the box. Chance now for Russo. Big save from Rodriguez. And you feel Russo, though, has got to do better in that position, in the penalty area. All the goal rate to aim for. I think she's made that a little too easy for Misa Rodriguez.
Yeah, I think the flag is up on Russo, and he has a bit of a harsh one. Might be on Marlon, I think. But yeah, big save from Rodriguez. Best chance of the half that so far. Russo kind of side foots it straight at the goalkeeper. Needed to find one of those corners. You either got to go hard at the near post or just try and place it in that far corner, and got caught in two minds, you feel.
That's the problem with Real's sort of structures, with how wide those wingers are. If Angodala doesn't drop in between the centre-backs, you do just get a lot of space in there.
Yeah, they're very much a side, you can tell, who are transitioning from being the underdog to trying to play, top-tier football, like a big side, which is what they should be doing. They are Real Madrid at the end of the day.
But to be fair, I mean, short a few players, they should all be playing for a side that plays really good football.
Yeah.
No, maybe you'd say they'd want someone better than Yasmin in that role, and maybe someone... I mean, Navarro can do both. Just as brilliant from Caicedo. What a player. The ball just sticks to her feet there. She drives that forwards.
They've got creators, Real Madrid. 100% got creators. I think that middle section of the pitch...
Well, I think Caicedo, she reminds me... I absolutely adore Caicedo. I think she's a fantastic player. But she reminds me of João Felix. In the sense that absolutely wonderful to watch, but isn't productive enough. I think she's definitely more productive than someone like that. But so uniquely talented. If you can get a tune out of her, best player in the world on a day. But there are days where that productivity isn't there.
Yeah.
And those numbers don't back up how enjoyable it is to see her play.
Yeah, I think the middle section of the pitch is brilliant for Real Madrid. The two wingers, the create, Athenia and Caicedo, Weir in the 10, and then the pivot, no matter who you start in there, is brilliant. It's just defensively, and I think a consistent goals there. They're some consistent defenders and a consistent goal scorer away from being a really, really dangerous side.
Yeah.
I think that but obviously in the Liga F and even in the Champions League, between Bruno and Fella, they put the others, they put together enough goals, but there's no one in there who's putting in brilliant numbers every season.
I guess that was the idea behind signing Lotte Koikala, is that you gamble on her coming good. I mean, so far this season, 1 goal, 1 assist in the Liga F. It's not setting the world alight, but when you look at that as a per 90 statistic, she ranks quite highly in terms of productivity, goals and assists. And you think that if you pair that with minutes, hopefully it would stack up. But she hasn't been given loads of opportunities. Did start the game against Barcelona, I believe, but came off before the hour mark there. Has just been given a lot of bench minutes while mixing in starts against some of the weaker sides. Got her first goal against Al-Hamra a couple of weeks ago as well. So I think that is the long-term plan, as they realise that is a problem, but they're solving it by investing time in Lotte Koikala.
Yeah, true.
Which, to be fair, where do Real Madrid get a top-tier goal scorer from for an affordable price right now? You don't. I mean, there'd be one of the clubs I'd say that should be looking at Kelly Gargo in January, but that's going to cost you at least £500,000 plus a wage coming out of the WSL. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
So sort of banking on Koikala coming good in the long term, I think makes sense. And they've also got Ira Santiago coming through, a youngster. All down the line there. Doesn't quite come off for Navarro. Here is Caldente.
Yeah, both sides not quite climbing through the gears yet, are they? With 28 minutes played, and we've had Arsenal have had a handful of shots. Nothing really too troublesome for Rodriguez, and Real Madrid have only had 1 or 2 themselves.
Yeah, 3 shots apiece. No one's put a shot on target yet, I believe, since Russo's goal was Sorry, was offside. That hasn't counted.
I mean, it's exactly what we're talking about. It's two sides who have really struggled, aren't brilliant in front of goal at the moment.
Yeah, also struggling to create. Kelly, ball into the box. That's over everyone. And that's out for a goal kick.
Which is weird because I think both sides have got some brilliant creators.
Yeah, I think Arsenal's best creators though are playing left back and defence midfield.
True, that is true.
And they're not in a system that helps those two thrive.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a bit of an outrageous thought here, but maybe you just put Mariona Canate in the 10.
Maybe. Or off the left wing and let her and McKay thrive. You never know. Stefan says Schroeder is only €1 million. Well, exactly. Schroeder's going to either... Well, you'd have to assume it would be Chelsea.
But that's where Real Madrid...
Leon or Barcelona.
But that's where they need to level up. Because I can tell you right now, Real Madrid have £1 million.
Florentino Perez has £1 million.
Exactly. So if they
Perez wiped his arse with £1 million.
Yeah, true. But if he wanted to, they're the kind of signings that would would bridge that gap to the top sides.
Of course. I mean, if they signed Felicia Schroeder, that's ridiculous. But I mean, definitely they should be looking at some of those not top tier wonder kids because you're not going to get those. But they should be investing, and that is sort of what they did in the summer by bringing in Lotta Koikala and they're trying to build a really good side with underrated players. And to an extent, I admire what they're doing.
Yeah, a bit like PSG.
PSG have switched their tax. Yeah, they've gone from just buying loads of 30-year-olds from seeing how much they can pay them to trying to sign some younger players and invest in their own talent.
Tidy this from Athenia, picks the ball up 25 yards from goal, drives past a few Arsenal players, looks to beat Fox. Fox stands her up well, blocks the cross out for a Real Madrid corner. But again, if Real Madrid are going to do something tonight, it's going to be Athenia because she looks dangerous every time she touches the ball. Or it's going to be a set piece like this. Players queuing up towards the back post. They haven't sent many forwards, have they, Real Madrid? Or maybe they just haven't got many presences. But yes, they look very outnumbered.
They're going to do some sort of routine here.
Potentially. Yeah, to be fair, Weir has gone short. Corner
now. I wonder if they're all going to run into the box like penalties used to be back in the day.
And maybe we can't see them. They're all about to come bursting onto the scene.
So ball in towards the front post, headed on, and it doesn't really come to anything for Real Madrid. It's Marnham who picks up on the loose ball, and that's one back high though. Marnham holds on to it and now releases Mariona Caldente. Athenia getting back in to defend here. And Arsenal forced backwards. Alex saying, I want Vangerheim as a pop replacement. Yeah, that'll be the big movement. Obviously, this January tends to be NWSL players moving and Damsel Vescan players and top Serbian players. Those sort of genre players. Smith comes inside there. Was that? I don't think that was a penalty. It seemed clean to me.
I think it's Smith actually was the one who knocked over into
Caldente, now McCabe. But yeah. January market will be interesting where Vangerheim goes if Felicia Schroeder does leave BK Herken. Obviously, we already know Signa Gaupset. Looks like she's going to Tottenham. Smila Holmberg going to Arsenal.
Smith looks sharp. A shock.
Ball inside to Smith. As you say that, tries to bring that down.
Forget that. Looks rubbish. But again, it's just it's the simple things that Slager just needs to get right. You start Olivia Smith. She looks dangerous. If you put Caldente Fair up the pitch, she will cause more problems. Yeah, looking back at this Smith penalty shout, it's not a penalty. Momentum knocks Smith through Debrits and onto the floor. It's not a foul, right?
Caroline Merler just been sent off for Benfica. Bit of a yellow card in the 27th minute, was sent off in the 30th.
Is that a decision that's been overturned by VAR? Or is that a second yellow?
No, it's a second. She's got a yellow card. Committed another foul. That's going to give us a red. Athenia breaking into the penalty area. Fox dragging her a little bit there. Gets away with it. And Athenia couldn't quite make something happen there.
It's all happening in the other games, isn't it? 2 goals of Vålerenga, a red card for Benfica.
Carnage everywhere apart from here at Meadow Park.
Yeah, Real Madrid won't mind this at all, but as you say, yet to have a shot on target from either side in 34 minutes of football is a bit disappointing.
Yeah. I think it's it's what we'd expect from these two sides to the
I'll say-
least productive
I
teams in
would
Europe.
love to know what Arsenal fans think, because they went 2-0 against Bayern Munich and threw that away. Then watched what was, let's be honest, a really bland North London derby where neither side did much. And now we've seen 34 minutes here where, yet again, Arsenal have just not created anything.
Yeah.
It just stuns me. It really does.
Do you think there's any fear of Arsenal failing to capitalise on this popularity and growth? Just in the sense that they've obviously they're the most attended team in WSL by a distance.
Yeah.
But if they keep playing uninviting football and also don't win enough, do they risk turning people away?
It depends how. It all depends how many people are there and committed to Arsenal, and how many people have just jumped on the bandwagon. That'll be.
I still think you're gonna have a core.
Of course,
obviously,
of course.
they sell out Meadow Park every time, and if they were at the Emirates tonight, you'd expect a good 15,000 likely.
Yeah.
So you're still gonna have that core, but they've been pulling in 50,000 for some of the big games. But if they don't win those matches, I do think they to an extent they risk failing to capitalise on all of that popularity and interest. Ball into the area, headed away, and now Caldente. And this is the worst time to go on a streak where you're not playing particularly fun football at the start of the season and also not winning enough.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where it's not what they're losing out on. I think it's not necessarily the fans have already got, but it's the fans they could gain.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't think you're going to push away people who've been there for 20 years.
No.
But but this is a very new, young sport. People are going for the first time. But if they're not winning, I think they do risk that.
Yeah.
Alex says, Jack, do you have any confidence that Chelsea can get a result tomorrow? Absolutely. I'll always believe Chelsea can get a result. But it will be difficult. Of course, Barcelona are the best side in the world right now. There's, as much as they claim that the FFP rules have done them hard done by, they are still the highest wage bill in Europe, despite having just 17 first-team players. That speaks volumes about the quality in that side, and they'll be very difficult to beat. Fella in behind. I think she's timed that well, to be fair. McKay brawling her on. Chance here for Fella. Got to do better there. 1-on-1, the flag does go up. Not 100% sure on that. And McCabe here going to get a talking to for some comments made to the referee after that.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what I'm more disappointed by, the effort from Fella or the fact that she's offside and we still don't get a shot on target in this game. I think she timed the run well. The angle was horrendous. We didn't see any of the defenders. Got to do better with that.
It's all about the body positioning. She's way too central on the ball. She needs to shift around the ball to be able to strike around it and direct it around Van Domsel. But she's so central, and she just seems like she passes it there to the goalkeeper. Gotta get around it. Gotta generate more power around the shot and make that more difficult for Daphne Van Domsel.
Yeah.
Here's Cooney Cross. Now Kelly. Arsenal trying to make something happen in response to that. Fox getting down the right-hand side. Blocked well there, that delivery by Mendes.
Again, well defended by Real Madrid. Good reaction from Arsenal. Feels like even though it may have been offside in the end, that might have just woken the home side up a bit. And the home fans, was that bit of a warning sign that they don't butt their ideas up and start moving this ball a little bit better and having some chance of their own. That Real Madrid might have got the other end and nick a goal themselves. Another corner though. Good chance here to Tess Rodriguez, get a shot on target.
Yeah, indeed. Ryan says, well, if Chelsea doesn't win, hopefully TWFC does. Absolutely. Fingers crossed, everyone, for tomorrow. Arsenal with this corner now. McCabe over this. Kelly over it as well. And McKay swinging it in towards the far post. And that glanced away from Russo. Fox. Now Cooney Cross. I think Arsenal, their lack of urgency on second phase and third phase plays is so difficult to watch. Here's McCabe. Now Kelly, ball in. Held up well by Ruben White and then out away. Cleared away. urgency anyways been a problem. But for me, second and third phases, you look at Man City at the weekend against United. The reason they had so many chances is because they kept working hard in every phase and they kept getting the ball back in there. This is turned over high and Athenea brought down there by Kelly. That's a fair call by the referee.
Yeah, Athenea is smart, runs herself into trouble and then and gets tripped up. That is a foul from Kelly. But yeah, I think Arsenal overall, it feels like they don't realise football's a timed game. That they play football like they've got forever to score a goal, and then they get to 90 minutes, they haven't scored a goal, and they go, "Oh, hang on a minute, we haven't scored."
There's never that urgency.
No.
It's this sort of prescriptivism where they are so stuck in, not stuck in their ways. I'm not sure that's the right word, but so dedicated to this one style that even in those dying moments where they need to just pump the ball in the box, they don't.
I mean, Northampton Derby was a perfect example of that.
Exactly.
0-0 at Tottenham, and in additional time, we're watching Arsenal pass it around the back.
And there are very valid criticisms of Jonas Alvarez's time at Arsenal, but I remember vividly when they played Villa and they needed to get a result and they were drawing and they threw on like 7 up front and they got the goal. It's it's not pretty football, but it got the result. And I think at some point in the game there has to be that trigger pull from Slagers where they go, "This isn't working. Let's get the result."
Yeah.
Because that is still a very important part of the game. As much as we're dedicated to playing this way, we do need to get the result at some point. Back now into Rodriguez.
One of these two sides has got 5 minutes to put a shot on target.
Headed on by Fell. It's going to drop in there for Caicedo. Fox gets back in. And that's really good. Emily Fox is the sole reason Arsenal don't concede more. So good in those recovery runs. Ball in from Athenea, blocked by McCabe, and Van Domselaar does well. Good goalkeeping to come out and claim that.
Again, tidy from Real Madrid, and as you say, if it weren't for Emily Fox's intervention, Caicedo was away. Really good recovery. Again, Arsenal pour out the back. McCabe's giving that straight to De Bruyne, who has won a free kick off Mariona Calente. Too aggressive from the Arsenal midfielder.
Yeah, indeed. And while we're still goalless here, a third did go in at Volorenja. A goal, I believe, for Karina Savic, but she's been caught offside. We're watching the wrong game.
So it's raining goals everywhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe Real Madrid can use this free kick. And that's the thing, we've seen, there's been chances. It's that final ball for both sides has really been lacking. We've seen a lot of dead ball situations now. Couple of corners each. Real Madrid have now got a free kick here. Got to be a good delivery.
So De Bruyne and Navarro over this. Can they find a route to goal here, Real Madrid, or at least a shot on target would be lovely.
Yeah. I say both goalkeepers getting a bit cold tonight at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, just put it in that corner of uncertainty and hope one of your teammates can get on the end of it.
Who will put it in the box? Will it be De Bruyne or will it be Navarro? It's going to be Navarro dummies. De Bruyne into the box, headed away. It drops for Caroline Weir, who lashes home the volley, and it's Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 1. It just sets up perfectly for the Scot, who slashes it home emphatically. Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 1. And that was lovely from Caroline Weir.
Really good strike. 42 minutes to get a shot on target, and it finds the back of the net. It's a great ball in, and it just puts it into that area of uncertainty. It's Catley who heads it away, but can only clear it as far as the penalty spot, and Weir is on hand to volley that home. Hit so well, so accurate, does well to get a power through it without blazing it over the bar. Brilliant, brilliant volley. And Real Madrid have the lead. It has taken a while. It's been a half that has been a bit quiet for both sides in front of goal, but we're taking our opportunity and making it count.
And games against Arsenal are always a happy hunting ground for Caroline Weir, and today is no different. And I mentioned a moment ago Arsenal's lack of reaction on second phases in attack. Their lack of reaction there on second phases in defence has also cost them. because Catley gets the header away. It's not a convincing header, but it does enough to stop the immediate danger. There's got to be more of a reaction. It's too slow for everyone else. Yes, it sets up perfectly for Caroline Weir, but there's got to be more of a reaction. That is a really nice finish from the Real Madrid attacking midfielder.
That's the last thing you want to do. Arsenal learnt this lesson last season away in Madrid. If you give this Real Madrid side a lead, they will absorb pressure, they will dig deep to hold on to it, and as we saw in that first leg of that quarter-final, Real Madrid did hold on and take victory that day. Of course, Arsenal turned it around in the second leg, but there isn't a second leg for tonight's game. Arsenal have got 45 minutes to turn it around. But again, Real Madrid using that dead ball situation and taking the opportunity and making it count.
Caicedo holds the ball up well. And while there wasn't much in the first 44 minutes in the way of action here or in Paris FC, but as Real Madrid go one goal ahead, Paris FC lead Benfica now, Maëlyn Mondi with that goal. And Volorenda have conceded as well. Kes Elmore with the goal for SK St Paul's. The goals going in everywhere. As we approach half-time, minute of additional time here at Meadow Park. Full says, we can see from a set piece. Such a surprise. Yeah.
I feel like Arsenal have so many set pieces of their own and do nothing with them. And every time they concede a set piece, they concede a goal from it.
Yeah, they've not been brilliant on set pieces, Arsenal, this season. They've not been brilliant this season. It's probably a fair analysis as well. The problem for Arsenal is, we're still 45 minutes to go, so it's very early, but this result would see them 13th. That is outside of the playoff spots in the Champions League. Now, I know Twente and Leuven are definitely much nicer fixtures, but they're not guaranteed wins, and that's also with another, there's teams around them still with games to play. Atletico play Twente tomorrow. One of those sides will push either further ahead or ahead of Arsenal if Twente win. Ball in, and that is dealt with by Yasmin. Misa Rodriguez will get there. She thinks she's kept it in. Emily Fox doesn't, and that will be a corner.
But also, the more frustrating thing will be is that in those games against Twente and Leuven, Arsenal would have been hoping to rest. But instead, they're going to have to go full strength in those games, which is going to impact them in the league. So again, losing games like this, putting themselves in this situation, if they don't turn it around tonight, it's going to hamper them going forwards with that rest, with that recovery. It means they're going to have to rotate in other games, and that could cost them, other results.
Ball into the box.
So another corner, straight into the arms of Rodriguez.
Well, it's going to impact December, which is already a tough run for Arsenal, as they have to welcome Gareth Taylor's tricky Reds to the Emirates. That is half-time here at Meadow Park. Arsenal 0, Real Madrid 1. Caroline Weir with a 43rd minute strike, and that gives Real the lead going into the break. Not the first half Arsenal would have wanted yet to register a shot on target. The only one they did register in that first half was offside, so it doesn't count towards the statistics. But a first half where neither side was creating in free flow, but Real took their chance there from a set piece at the end of the half.
Exactly that. Final ball was lacking, but Real Madrid managed to get the ball into the penalty area, put it into a dangerous area. The clearance from Arsenal wasn't good enough, and we're with a brilliant volley, and that's what you need to do. It just shows that for both these sides, really, but obviously for Real Madrid are the ones who have got the goal. But if you get quality players with a chance to score, they will find the back of the net. But neither side has got their best players, their attackers, into good positions. Arsenal's final ball has been so poor tonight so far. The crosses into the box have been aimless. Corners have been terrible. Either straight into the player at the front post or straight into the gloves of Rodriguez in the Real Madrid net. It's just been a really, really poor attacking display from Arsenal. And then, how many times have we seen this script before for Arsenal this season, where they have, I'm guessing they've had the majority of the ball, they've not done anything with it going forwards, and then they've been punished late on in the half because they haven't done anything with the football. And again, it's Real Madrid, the ball falls away, and she takes that opportunity and punishes Arsenal for not doing anything, not creating anything for the past 40 minutes.
Yeah, I feel it's just been... The problem for Arsenal is that they are so slow. And I think Phil puts nicely saying we're always passive defending. I actually think passive is just the way to describe Arsenal. no one is actively trying to make something happen. It's all very passive in the game. It's, slow passes. And obviously that can work. Slow build-up can work, but there doesn't seem to be purpose behind it. You're not drawing Real Madrid out because it's so slow. Real don't bother.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, well, hang on, we've got to wait 10 minutes while this pass just dribbles across the pitch. And it's just too slow from Arsenal. There needs to be more urgency. And when they do speed it up, it feels that there's players aren't on the same wavelength. They don't have that understanding to be able to play that quick football, to be able to switch it up so quickly. And it's very interesting to watch, but they never seem to get out of that first gear, Arsenal. Yeah. And it's not always because they're not trying. It's also because it just doesn't click when they try and play faster. So I just think there's so little directness from Arsenal. Obviously, they want to play this one style of play, but I don't think that's refined at all. They're trying to play positional play, but they're not really leaning into all the elements of it. There's a lot of this performance where you notice those positional rotations aren't sharp. City and Arsenal are playing the same system this season. You wouldn't believe it, would you? That City and Arsenal are playing the same system. Of course there are differences, but broadly they're both trying to play the same style of football. But Yeglets has coached it in a very different way, and obviously they have very different players. And Arsenal, when you look at the differences between the two sides, Arsenal are so focused on trying to be of having control defensively. That's the big tweak, is that Arsenal are too controlling. It's too close to tiki-taka. There's elements of positional play, whereas City have really lent into that positional play, and you see the rotations. Arsenal don't do that. And when Arsenal do rotate players, it just feels like it players in worse positions. You end up with McKay playing central midfield, Canante at left back. How's that getting the best out of either of those players? And I feel that's just been a constant issue for Arsenal throughout this season.
Yeah, it's a bit of risk versus reward. City, I think City is the best example of it. As you say, it's a bit different, but they've gone out and they've beaten everyone and they've scored loads of goals. Of course, that risk has meant they've also conceded quite a few. But that is something they're building on. Whereas Arsenal, it just seems so scared to concede that they then just do nothing going forwards, to the point where eventually they do get pounced on. It just feels so, safe from Arsenal. Every pass feels safe. We see way too much of the back four than we should ever see in a football game. I cannot tell you when Canante and Cooney Cross are getting on that ball making things happen. I couldn't tell you when we were seeing Frida Mano and Russo link up in that half, because we didn't. We don't see them on the ball, because all they do is the back four knock it around, get it across to McKay, puts a cross in, it gets caught by the goalkeeper, and everyone drops back again, and they ever go back to being Arsenal and just sitting back and being. I think it's too nice from Arsenal. I think they're too nice as a football team. Got to go out there, and again, it leans into that being too passive. Be more aggressive. Be a little bit harsher. I mean, I don't mean like Kelly and McCabe do. They rock around, just bump into people for the sake of it. I mean, just be more aggressive. Get onto players. Don't just be a bit sharper with things. I think it's very nice that, the way we've seen the likes of Caicedo and Athenia just dance round Arsenal players tonight, it's been way too easy. Somebody's got to get on them, because you can't just keep watching them. At the moment, it feels like Athenia drops deep, picks up the ball, runs past three people, and the only player that can stop her is Emily Fox. But that's not good enough. Athenia shouldn't be able to just tiptoe her way through Arsenal's midfield. They're things that have got to stop, because she's gaining 20 yards by doing that. Yeah. I think it's just way too nice from Arsenal. Got to stop. It's almost giving Real Madrid too much respect, letting them play on the ball. We know Real Madrid struggle to play at the back. We know they've got defensive errors in them. So you've got to play on that. Be aggressive. Get up in their faces. Force those errors. And then when those mistakes come, pounce on them and go and score goals. I just think it's too much respect given to Real Madrid, really.
Well, I think Arsenal's pressing structure doesn't work anyway. The problem is Real aren't too bad playing up from the back, actually.
Tonight's been better.
I think maybe that's the case. But I haven't watched loads of Real Madrid this year. But from this game, they actually look quite good coming out from the back. The difference as well, Arsenal are passive pressing. And again, Phil mentioned it with passive defending. It's passive out of possession. It's passive in general, but passive out of possession.
Passive.
Yeah, that is Arsenal's play style. Just sort of not really ever look like you're part of the game. But that out of possession structure, and they've gone. You look at the start of the game against Bayern, and they pressed really aggressively, and they did the same against Chelsea. And they had some success with that. At Chelsea, they had a few turnovers, but actually both Chelsea's goals, the Chelsea goal and Carnery's chance and Captain's chance, which should have gone in the first 60 minutes, all three of them came because Arsenal were too easy to play through. And so it's not just enough to say, oh, we're going to press aggressively. It's about how you press and that unity in pressing. It just feels like Arsenal don't have that structure, especially when your midfield is so open. And so then what they've reverted to in the game against Tottenham and then the game to this evening was they've reverted to being just dropping off the press and letting teams come onto them a little bit more. And that's fine, but they're not. It's fine if you want to sort of drop off a little bit and not be an aggressive pressing team. I mean, it goes against the mould a bit at the moment. But they don't really have the structure and the compactness in place in that mid-block to not press the ball. They are just too easy to play through at the moment, Arsenal. It's that passivity that we've spoken about. It is that lack of urgency, that lack of desire. I mean, again, this evening, the duels won. Real Madrid, 60% of total duels, 55% of ground duels, 75% of aerial duels, and more successful dribbles with 5-4 in favour of Real Madrid. Now, there are more attempted because Athenia and Linda Caicedo want to get on the ball, want to make things happen, but there's a lack of physicality in there as well for Arsenal. And I can't help but feel, as I've said from the start of the season, all of these problems just seem a domino effect of not having a defence midfielder.
Yeah.
Because they lack that fight, they lack the ability to control games, which is their sole purpose, really, is what Arsenal are trying to do this season, is control games, which they can't do because they don't have a defence midfielder who controls games. And yeah, it just feels that all of Arsenal's problems hinge on that one thing.
Yeah, especially now, I think it's also been heightened by the fact they lost Kim Little, because she was the only kind of thing they had in midfield with a bit of grit and a bit of, Scottish fight in her. But I think it's I've never seen a side lose so many duels in every single game. It's so bizarre, and that then, as you said, knocks into other things, because you can't be creative if every time you try and come forward you're getting muscled off the ball, or you're losing every 50-50. Because if you lose every 50-50, then all the momentum is going to the opposition, and now that momentum is across games is now going to start to affect them, because as it stands, they're going into an international break winless in their last 4. That is not good enough. And after the loss to was it draw to loss to Villa? I can't remember. After that draw 1-1. After that draw to Villa, it felt like they'd got back on track a little bit. They'd put a couple of wins together, and it felt like they were just starting to get somewhere. And now that again they've had a really tough run of games. I know it's been some difficult sides, but I don't use that as an excuse, because these are meant to be the reigning European champions, and the reigning European champions should be the difficult side. Of course, every team has difficult runs, but as a side of, if you are the reigning European champions, you've got to go out and play like that. And I haven't seen that yet from Arsenal this season. And I think that will be the most disappointing thing for the fans, is there's been no performance this campaign where I've sat there and gone, that's European champions material. Of course, they deserved it last year. That performance was worthy of winning the Champions League, but I've not seen a single performance this season and sat there and gone, they're going to go defend their title. You can tell they're the reigning European champions. They look miles away from that side that won the Champions League last year.
Yeah, I mean, Wafula makes an interesting point, saying, stop being fooled. Rene has been found out. There's no plan B. You can clearly see there's no way of coming back. That's an interesting point, not because of what they say, but because of the sort of intention behind it. Basically, that lack of plan B is a very real thing, because Slagers doesn't have a plan B. She's a manager that's a year into management. And so naturally, she has one style and she sticks to it. Now, what will be interesting to see is whether she becomes more pragmatic or she stays as a very dogmatic manager. You would think that, with years of experience that will come in the next few years, she will, start to experiment with different systems and have different options. But she may not, and then that would become a very valid criticism if she doesn't have those options. But I think at this stage in her career, it's fine not to have those other options. The problem is she's managing the European champions.
Yeah.
And it's a very difficult situation to balance, because on one hand, Arsenal are in this moment where they should be seizing it and they should be going to win the league and they should be retaining their Champions League crown. And on the other, they have just signed. They spent their window. Yes, they brought in players like Taylor Hines and who else did they
Olivia Smith.
No, I'm trying to think of anyone other than Olivia Smith.
Sorry.
Smith goes the other way in my point. And Chloe Kelly, sorry, is the other signing. They're signings that come in and are supposed to compete in the here and now. But you've also got Olivia Smith there, which is an investment for the future. You've got a lot of young talent in the club. You've got Renee Slager, who's a very young manager at the helm. And it's this conflict at Arsenal between, are they going to be a force in 5 years or do they want to compete now? And it's that constant tension that I think is going to stop them competing anywhere in the next 5 years. Because they keep focusing on the here and now, it'll be to the detriment of their future. And if they don't focus on the here and now, they're not going to win things. So they've got to pick a route. It can't keep going both ways. For me, it's got to be in the future. And I think there is a rebuild need at Arsenal. That was kicked a year down the line. They kicked that can a year down the line because they won the Champions League in May. I think that there is I think Slagers will be a very successful manager one day, but you've got to give her investment. You've got to give her time to sort of mould the squad to her liking, to understand herself as a manager, and to have those other options. Before that, they won't win anything that's a league phase competition because they cannot be consistent over that time period. They've been found out. That is a very true statement. People know how Slagers is going to play because she's only ever used one style now. In the first season, that's fine because people don't know who you are, how you're going to play. Now she's got to evolve as a manager, and Arsenal have got to evolve as a team. But that's very difficult to do when Slagers hasn't been there, hasn't been a manager for a very long amount of time. So I think it will come. I don't think it's going to come this year. I don't even think it's going to come next year. But in a few years, I think Slagers will be in a very good position. The problem is, are Arsenal prepared to wait that time? They have to decide which way they want to go as a club.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. Rimple says Smith's been poor. I disagree. I think Smith's been their one good player in attack. I think she wants to take players on. I don't think the end product's there with Smith.
Yeah.
What I like is that she wants to drive that ball forwards.
Yeah, I think that it goes both ways. I think that she looks poor because she's trying to make things happen and it's not coming off. So in that case, I get what they're saying about the fact that she is trying things and it's not working. She isn't getting through it, and that, as you say, that end product isn't there. But she's trying to make things happen. That's the main thing. No one else on that football pitch has been being direct or trying to get at players. Smith's trying to make things happen. It's not coming off. But if she keeps trying, something's going to come off. And meanwhile, the rest of the 10 players out there aren't trying anything. So I agree. I think it's not coming off what she's trying to do, but at least she's trying to do something. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I mean, she's an exciting player to watch. If you could build a team of productive, a team of players that don't have any productivity but are very fun to watch, it'd be very fun to watch a team to watch.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't score many goals. But Smith would be in that. So would Linda Caicedo.
Yeah,
and they're the kind of players you'd have in there.
Someone's got to step up for Arsenal. I think that's the main is the thing now. Yeah. With Little and Williamson out injured, someone has got to step up and realise the situation they're in and pull their team out of this. Not just in this game, but going forwards. Because at the moment, it does look very leaderless. Which I know they've lost they've lost their 2 captains, but still, these are 11 professional footballers.
Captain's got the armband, which I find is a little bit weird. And because I don't think she's an international captain. You'd think you go McCabe, obviously, temperament isn't always there with McCabe. Or you go Mariana Caldente.
Not when she's playing
massive. That's deeper in the pitch at least, and we do get back underway here at Meadow Park, which she's a massively experienced player. Back with some more responsibility. That's poor from Ruben Moy, and now Weir has it high at the pitch, lays it off to Caicedo. Can she get a shot away? That's at the near post and wide of the mark. And Real, winning the ball high at the pitch, would have wanted to test the keeper from there.
What a start that would have been to the second half for Real Madrid. Again, poor Arsenal. It's too slow. Simple as that. It's too slow from Ruben Moy across to Catley. Allows Weir to get in there. But yeah, Caicedo's got it away
again. Here is Caroline Weir looking for another. This one, though, won't catch out Van Domselaar, who claims that one.
Wow, Real Madrid have got other ideas in this second half. I thought they'd sit in and try and absorb pressure, but 2 shots in the first 30 seconds, really keeping Arsenal on their toes.
Here's McCabe. That's poked out of play well. The thing is, if you invite Arsenal in, that is when they will.
True.
You can't absorb that pressure forever. They've got players who'll be able to break you down eventually. The best way is actually to attack them because they aren't great defensively at the moment. Here's Caicedo, wants to take on Catley. Stands her up well. Now looks to cut it across. That's good defending from Steph Catley, who stands her ground and blocks the cross.
Flag
and there
goes,
was an offside flag up afterwards.
The cut then tonight, neither side has been brilliant at timing the runs. That was a bit more difficult because Caicedo was coming back from an offside position when the ball got launched long to her.
Yeah, clearly offside, but yeah, just unfortunate one. She's not made the run in behind. I don't think she was expecting that ball in behind. Catley sends it forwards. Good hold up from Russo. Strong challenge in there from Mendes, and here's Caroline Weir. Now it's De Brits who could get a shot away. It's blocked, and that will go into the hands of Van Domselaar, but Arsenal cannot play out right now.
No. But again, it's too nice in there. I feel for Russo a bit because she is outnumbered 2v1 and is up against players that are more physical than her, but it's just so easy for Alger to win that ball off her and then it spills free and they can run onto it and make things happen.
Cooney cross switching the play. And Smith can't quite get that header on. So that's out now for a Real Madrid throw.
Very fast start to the second half for Madrid. They also know that, again, thinking back to that first leg of the quarter-final, if they can get that second goal and just, kill this game off.
So tidy there from Caroline Weir. Now Mendes. Cross. Forwards looking for Fella. Can't quite get the touch on there. Now here's Mariona Caldente. Wants to drive the ball forwards. Great drive from Caldente. Now Marnham plays it wide into Smith, who will square up now to Navarro. Comes inside Olivia Smith. Beats the player just for Smith. Blocked well. And then Yasmin gets it away. But that's what you've got to target because Navarro isn't a fullback and Smith is very good at taking players on. I found it really weird that they swapped them around at the end of the first half because what we watched was Chloe Kelly would skirt up to Navarro, not do anything, and then just cross the ball in. And Smith wasn't really getting the same joy on the left-hand, down round to the left-hand side. Ball into the box, headed away well by Lacra. And De Brits there, rolls Caldente well. Now plays it to Caicedo, who can drive it forwards here for Real Madrid. Plays it through to Fella, who can't quite get it under her control.
But yet again, that whole chance there and that breakaway for Real Madrid has come from an Arsenal ball in and then an uncontested header for Lacra to head that away.
Yeah.
It's just astounding how every cross seems to be perfectly picked out. Seems to perfectly pick out a Real Madrid player.
Kelly struggles to bring that under control, but does. Now Cooney cross into Caldente. Nige says Arsenal continue to be shocking. Wow, didn't see that coming. I'm enjoying some of the sarcasm in the live chat this evening.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where obviously I know Nigel isn't an Arsenal fan, but just from other people as well, you know it's not going well at Arsenal when Arsenal fans really start to get frustrated. Because I think the one, I guess obviously every fan base has their optimists and their,
I've seen Chelsea fans around Bonpastor.
True.
A domestic treble winning manager.
Imagine
who's led the longest WSL unbeaten run in history.
Imagine Chelsea went through the patch of form that Arsenal are right now. Like,
a head would be on a stick. Here's Linda Caicedo. Knocks it across to Athenia. Tries to play it across. Keeps it in touch. Waiting for the perfect option on the cutback. It's cleared away by Catley. They don't back Fella. The problem as well is when you've got a striker who's not performing, not only is she in her own header bandit, but her teammates are as well. Yasmin, and that is one back by Kelly, and that's out for an Arsenal goal kick.
One-footed players frustrate me so much there. That Yasmin was never going to get that ball in on her left foot, ever.
Was she going for the corner potentially?
Maybe, then she just kicked it off.
Or she was trying to get around Kelly to then just hit it into her. Or get the ball into the box. But anyway, moving on with this goal kick, and Arsenal have learned how to go long. This could be game changing.
And it's gone straight.
Completely uncontested angle dial.
Just incredible.
The Brits. Navarro goes backwards. Thing is, if you're not going to compete for the first ball, you need to be really good at winning second and third balls. Do you know the one team I don't back to win a second or third ball? Arsenal.
But it's just do the players see that ball falling out of the air towards angle down? Just go, forget it.
It's McCabe. And a little too aggressive from Caroline Weir catching McCabe.
You know, McCabe's getting fouled and losing duels that you're in trouble.
Yeah. Alex says you should watch the Gotham DC final next weekend. We did think about streaming it. If it wasn't 1 a.m. and we didn't have things to do, we probably would. I'm half still considering it because we're probably going to go for the F1, the Las Vegas Grand Prix. But yeah, Kelly goes back. If we'd covered more NWSL, it makes sense. It's just that risk of getting up at 1 a.m. and then no one, we don't have a huge audience of NWSL fans.
But also, it wipes out the whole day, really, doesn't it?
Not for me, just because
you
need your 20 hours of sleep. Ball in, header on target, and it's there for Arsenal. And they do win that header, a fairly innocuous ball into the box. Russo on hand to head home, and it's Arsenal 1, Real Madrid 1. And Slager doesn't know whether to celebrate or not there, looks confused to how that's happened. But Arsenal are level.
I mean, that has come from absolutely nowhere. They've been second best in the second half so far. They get the ball out to the right-hand side. Just checking on the offside. It's going to be tight on Russo. They will have a look. The ball goes into her. It's a looping header. And it's just one of those where the ball floats in the air for so long and goes over Rodriguez's head.
I don't know why Rodriguez is down rather than jump up.
But that has really come from nothing. They are going to have a look at it. I think Russo's okay, though. She looked onside. But they're going to have a look. But yeah, that, Arsenal will be relieved. We've seen 2 shots on target in this game. I think Real Madrid actually had another one, to be fair. But still.
Yes, Fella had that same effort, didn't she?
But again, if this counts, this will be a big relief for Arsenal because it's been a very difficult game so far. But this would give them something to kick off, something to use and try and turn this game around.
Yeah. So we wait for the referee's verdict, VAR's verdict. As they check for an offside. I don't think there is any such offside based on that celebration. And there isn't. We're back underway. It's Arsenal 1, Real Madrid 1. Real have got to work hard now because they've got to pick themselves up. It was, they've been the better side throughout this game.
Yeah, it's a poor goal to concede. It's a really poor goal to concede, as you say. First 5 or 10 minutes of this second half had all gone to Real Madrid. And then against run of play, Arsenal strike back. And now it'll be the Gunners who are looking to take the lead for the first time tonight.
And we go level here, as does the game between Volarenya and SKN St Polten.
Wow.
Volarenya 2-0 up, but a penalty gives Polten an equaliser. Polten are just out here crushing the dreams of other pot 3 teams. Like, they beat Twente. They drew with Twente, didn't they? Or something like that? Or was that Leuven?
That was
Leuven, yeah. But the pot 3 teams have been their own worst enemies. Yeah. They keep taking the points off each other. McCabe, now Caldente. McCabe. Caldente. That's good from Fella to jump on that, knock it out of play. Here's the Arsenal throw. Back to McCabe. And now Wubben-Moy. Plays it through the lines, cut out well by Caicedo. Now to the left-hand side. Here's Smith. Chops in. Takes aim. And that, a little bit loose from Misa Rodriguez, who's then been fouled in the aftermath. I think they're by Freedom Mana.
No, it's Chloe Kelly. We're going to the book for it. That is just stupid. That is just plain stupid from Kelly. Rodriguez kicks the ball. She goes to kick it, and Kelly just takes her legs out from underneath her. Really silly yellow card, and just an unnecessary thing.
It's something I didn't recognise in her game before she joined Arsenal. But
yeah,
she's done it loads.
Rodriguez picks it up. As Rodriguez gets up to kick the ball away, Kelly just trips her up.
What is she doing?
Just so much, so unnecessary.
Right.
Rodriguez hasn't even gone to kick the ball. Yeah, just trips her up. That's a silly yellow card and a silly fine to pick up. Next goal's massive in this game. Absolutely massive for the Champions League campaign of these two sides. Because an Arsenal win puts them right back in it, but a Real Madrid goal would practically see them through.
Here's Fella carrying it forwards. Ball towards the back post. And no one for Real Madrid can quite get on it.
Not a bad ball, but that was always curling away from the on-rushing Real Madrid players rather than towards them.
Nothing quite sums up the Women's Champions League like a Vålerenga side who'd only conceded 3 goals in this competition so far. The only team that conceded less than them, Chelsea and Barcelona. They've then conceded 2 to SK Portland, who hadn't scored a goal yet this competition and had conceded 17.
It's just brilliant.
And that, Vålerenga, with a win tonight, put themselves in a great position to qualify. The draw would make things much, much tougher.
At the point tonight, Juventus were 3-0 against Leonese.
Yes, what an evening of Champions League football. This new format, so much more fun. For this match week in particular, because last season we'd have had to come into this game. It's like it's that double game week where they'd have played a team last week and then they have to play again this match week. Love this. Here come Real Madrid.
Another poor pass from Ruben Moy.
Yasmin plays it across. It's a bit behind Fella, but she'll get there. McKay tries to stop her by dangling her leg. It doesn't work. Here's Caroline Weir. Now Angledal. Athenia wants to take on Kelly. Athenia puts into the box. Flick towards goal by Yasmin. Don't mind her trying that. That pass didn't have enough weight on it to get to Caicedo, but
if that beats Van Domselaar, then I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, try against Everton, maybe.
Yeah.
Smith plays it through the line. She was clipped there by Navarro, but does find Marlon. Now Kelly crosses it. Here's Russo. And that's blocked well. Smith forced back to Cooney. Cross. There's offside flag in there anyway.
This game's becoming end-to-end, which I don't really know who that leans towards. I think obviously Arsenal, we know, love control, but I think obviously they would prefer it to be control, but I think actually end-to-end might help them a bit.
If Arsenal sold Blackstenius, it does.
True. But instead it's going to be a Real Madrid change.
I think that's at right back, isn't it?
Yes.
That looks to me like Evan Navarro coming off.
It is.
And it looks to me like Shayla coming on. Navarro makes way. That'll be Shayla Garcia on at right back.
More defensive change, you feel? Rather than having a winger at full back?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Real Madrid.
A draw for Real Madrid tonight puts them on 8 points. Like, you can't see them getting knocked out on 8 points, really.
Yeah, true.
Can I say? Goes down there. That is soft. Thought De Brits won the ball there. Well,
unless she got both, but yeah, she definitely knocked the ball away. Let's have a look. No, yeah.
Wins the ball and Calente falls over because she doesn't have the ball at her feet anymore. Here's Kelly. Not a great cross.
Oh.
Black cross. Didn't need to do that though.
I thought I was going to go for a corner. But yeah, Real Madrid's got to hang in there. You feel like they're panicking slightly. Arsenal are starting to put more pressure on. Still only had 1 shot on target. Might see if they might have had a couple more at this point.
2 shots on target for Arsenal. 3 for Real Madrid.
What a game.
Catley with Moy. That Yasmin one was the latest.
No.
Nice turn in there from Kelly. Knocks into Marlon, who breaks into the box. Ball in now from Fox. That aggressive ball to Smith, who should do better. And that's a tame shot. Saved by the goalkeeper.
Smith rightly frustrated with herself here. Well worked again by Arsenal. It's a good ball in from Cooney cross. Russo gets muscled off it, and yeah, Smith has got to connect with that better. She's frustrated with herself on that one, understandably so. Should have got more conviction behind that strike. Big half an hour coming up for these two sides.
And Domselaar launches it forwards. Headed away. Drops now for Caldente. Headed down. One back well in there by Caicedo. And will be a head injury there for Russo. I'm not sure she knew she had it until McCabe pointed it out.
I'm not sure because she's in front. So how has she hurt her head?
The ball hit her in the head.
Ah, the ball was hit in the face. I mean, I know it's cold, it's going to sting a bit, but...
Well, so she didn't go down with a head injury. It was McCabe who thought she had a head injury.
Russo, your head's hurting, right? Yeah, hold it.
Double change in wide areas here for Arsenal. And it will be Mead and Ford. And this is the problem. Slagers has one trick in the book and it's just changed the winger set. It's not even there's not even one without the other. It's always the same set. I mean, she shifted the set of wingers she uses now. But she always uses them in sets.
Oh, I think that's unlucky. Weir's been given a free kick for that. I'm not sure. She's on the floor. I think, was it Kelly? To be fair, it might have been Kelly's doing something silly again. That's not... Oh, yeah, it is. No, okay. It's soft, but it's just clumsy. Kelly wins the ball off Weir goes down, and then they get tangled in legs, so Kelly can't just knees her in the head. And that is going to be the end of Chloe Kelly's performance. She's not happy to be coming off at all, actually.
Well, outside, I mean, the assist was good. That's a good cross into the box. But outside of that, she's just not offered enough and then gone around doing stupid things. I think that's been her whole thing this season.
And Smith, again, looks sharp, but the end product lacking. I think that it's interesting to see her getting frustrated at herself now, which is obviously something Arsenal will be hoping that they can try and take out of her game, because the last thing you want is a talented young player getting frustrated at herself because she's not finding the back of the net.
Ball out of play now for Real Madrid throw.
So yeah, both sides shuffling the pack a little bit in the last few minutes.
Yeah, I thought Olivia Smith had a good game.
Yeah, again, she looks sharp, she looks bright, dangerous when she gets on the ball, but she looks dangerous. And I think that'll be the problem for Arsenal at the moment, is she looks dangerous, but she's not actually... She's causing problems, but those problems aren't leading to goals.
Yeah. I think there's a lot to like with Smith, though.
Oh, yeah. I think, as I say, they want to curve that frustration into more desire to score.
I can't understand why she's used a touchline winger in every version. It's the problem. You've signed a winger who wants to cut inside and take shots, and even when she plays on the left wing, she's supposed to hold the width. So I think it's such a waste of her talents. Here's Caldente. Now looks to lift it out to Caitlin Ford. McCabe. Plays it back into Ubermoy. Caldente. Now Cooney Cross. Drives it forwards, feeds it through the lines. Ford cuts it back, and that's cleared away well by Mendes.
Really good from Cooney Cross. Good feet. Threads the ball through to Ford nicely. But again, the cross, the delivery, straight at the player at the front post. But Arsenal just starting to maybe go through the gears a little bit now. And Real Madrid feeling the pressure a little bit. They don't want to get bogged down, Real Madrid. Got to make sure that they don't allow Arsenal to kind of pen them in.
Ball in. Touchdown by Marnham, cleared away well. Here's Ubermoy. McCabe throws it into Russo, holds the ball up well, now brings Ford into the game. Shifts it to Caldente, who's actually on the edge of the box for once. Now McCabe, who can look to deliver it, blocked well by Shayla. Still in play though, and McCabe decides to kick Shayla Garcia for some reason.
Yeah, I think she mocked swinging at the ball, but without whether she realised that Garcia was there or not.
But you don't need to mock swinging
no,
the ball.
You don't.
There's no reason. She needed to pretend to put a cross in. Ball into the box now for Arsenal. Not a bad delivery. Headed home well. And Russo with their second headed goal of the game. and we criticise Arsenal for not making enough of set pieces, but that is much better. A great delivery from Beth Mead and headed home well by Alessia Russo. An angled dial down in the box. Obviously that will be looked at, but Russo clinical this evening with our chances.
Really good ball in from Mead. Russo just peels off. Well, peels off, and is this enough for a foul? No, it's not. Too
really.
soft from angled up. Russo does well just to nudge her away. Finds herself in a bit of free space.
Problem is, my gut trying to go down there, she's absolutely killed her teammates because Russo's just left with a free header.
And again, Alessia Russo's head at the moment is going to lead Arsenal to a big Champions League victory.
Indeed, really weak from Philippa Angeldal.
They've had a look and they're happy. But yeah, as you say, too soft from Angeldal. You're not going to get a free kick there. And now Real Madrid have got work to do. Tell you what, first 5-10 minutes of the second half, Real Madrid were the better side. But that has fallen away a little bit. They just seem to have gone back into their shell a bit.
Triple change. They want to win this. Redondo on, Brune on. I think quite see the other one was.
As you say, yeah, they're going for this now. Oh, Real Madrid. Coicula coming on as well.
Yeah. Sorry, Irene, not Brune. So that is Dorado, Coicula and Redondo.
It's incredible how games can flip and how circumstances can change, because at half time, with Real Madrid leading a goal to nil, Real Madrid looked to be in a great position and Arsenal looked like they might be in a bit of trouble in the Champions League. About 25 minutes later, and Arsenal are going to be in a much better position, and Real Madrid are going to have to work a little bit harder in the final two games.
I mean, they'll still be a point ahead of Arsenal.
Well, of course, yeah, but they could be...
Obviously, their fixtures, I would say, are tougher. Wolfsburg and Twente compared to Twente and Leuven. 7 points. You probably need a point more.
Yeah.
I would say. We're out to the left-hand side. Back now to Yasmin. Ball in. Moy gets there. Clears it away. Angeldal headed to the left-hand side. Coicula works to keep it in play and does so. Drifting inside now. Lotta Coicula. Wants to take on Emily Fox. Trying to get the cut back for the cross. One back in there by Cooney Cross. Russo. Touch back to Mead. And now Cooney Cross. Into McCabe. Pass a little bit behind her, but she'll make it work, McCabe. Now wide. Into Ford. Ball across. Now bounce out for Real Madrid. Goal kick.
Yeah, you feel that triple change was the pulling of the strings for Real Madrid. They're going for it now. They know they want a goal. They want to take something away from this game. They feel like they should take something away from this game. It hasn't been. They haven't bumped into an Arsenal on top form. It's been better from Arsenal in the second half, but it still hasn't been brilliant. And they're doing enough, though, at the moment to get the job done, which is the important thing at this stage of the competition.
Yeah, indeed. Angle down. Now Mendes. Cooney Cross pulling down Weir in there.
Okay, again, Caroline Weir, so good. I feel like every time I watch it, we watch her in the Champions League, she's still as good as she was. Or as good as she was the last time.
Yeah, I mean, she's still only 30. I could see a WSL return on the cards. Depends what London City's recruitment strategy is next summer. Will they go down the route of Weir, Earps? Trying to think of some other very expensive ex-WSL players. So that's their MO.
Alex Scott's coming back.
Yeah. Dorado tries to play it forwards, doesn't quite come off. That's not how to play. And given
No.
an Arsenal throw, and I'm not sure on that one.
You can understand Real Madrid's frustrations because that has come off Caldente. But smart from Aaron Caldente. You kick it off, you pick the ball up immediately, and you go to throw it, and then give it to Kate McCabe to sort out.
Now I was going to mess with her.
Yeah.
I always enjoy watching Ira and Dorado play. I remember her coming onto the scene at 16. She's still only 17 now. But really technically gifted. And again, that's what Real Madrid need to build around.
Feels like she's been 17 forever. I feel like...
she won't be next year.
I know. But like when she first burst on, she was still like incredibly young. But that's what happens when players burst onto the scene so early. It feels like they're a youngster forever.
With Mike. Now Fox. Goes back to Van Domselaar. It's a bit the case of Smith. I think you forget she's 20.
Yeah.
Because she had a first season at Liverpool and now is at Arsenal, has moved for over £1 million.
Yeah, it's the players with lots of experience. It's your Smiths, your Cap Dines, your Pryors.
Beaver Jones.
Yeah.
Up there as well. Iman Bennett, I think, was throwing the... In fact, for Gino's were even the better argument there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Here's Mendes. And now to the right-hand side. Caicedo. Back to Shayla. Mendes. And now Weir. Mendes into Shayla. Knocks it down the line. Tidy from Caicedo. Lovely touch around the corner. A give and go. Cuts inside now. Caicedo will drop for Dorado. And that's cleared away well by McCabe. Redondo now. Yasmin from the edge takes aim. And that trickles off wide. Doesn't quite come together there for Real Madrid.
So good from Linda Caicedo. Dancing in and out down the right-hand side. Manages to find the gap. They recycle the ball around the edge of the area. Well, Redondo was caught by Mead. Advantage played on. Yasmin allowed to shoot and drags it wide. Real Madrid probably would have preferred the free kick on the edge of the area there.
Yeah.
Well, with hindsight. Yasmin, though, probably should have done a bit better.
McCabe. Giving away. Here's Shayla. Beats Ford. And that's smashed out of play by Caldente. I'm slowing it down. Shayla. Angle down. Switch the play from right to left. Here's Yasmin. Goes wide, placing it in front of Koikalo. Ain't going to get there. That's over here. Forward's blocked well. That's out. For an Arsenal goal.
It feels like the earlier kickoffs took all the action and goals away from the other three games because it feels like it's been quite quiet second halves around the grounds.
4 goals in the game between Volorenia and SKS.
That is true.
3 goals here and 2 in the game between Paris FC. I guess we saw 6 and 7 earlier though.
Yeah, disappointed. Well, who knows? Arsenal in a very similar position to this last week, and Bayern Munich managed to turn it around. Arsenal have got to hang in there.
Caicedo cuts back to Weir. Dorado wants to pass it on, doesn't quite come off.
Just one too many from Real Madrid. Knowing what to shoot.
Yasmin. I think it needed one more, but it just didn't quite happen. Koikala. Lacra. Dorado tries to roll. One back by Caldente. It's Marnham. Feeds it through to Mead. Here come Arsenal. Back across the box. It's blocked. Mead again. One back in there by Angledal. Dorado. And now Rodriguez.
Still time for Real Madrid. Plenty of time to at least get one. And you just feel since that triple change for Madrid that the momentum has shifted a little bit. This is exactly what Arsenal against Bayern. It's exactly what against Aston Villa. Just they've got into a good position, they're leading, and now they just want to try and see it through. And in certain games this season that has worked, and they have seen it through. In other games, that they've let it slip away. So be interesting to see which way it goes tonight.
Fox, Mead. Inside to Mariona Caldente. Lovely pass through to Beth Mead, who slots it into Alessia Russo. Wide of the mark and offside for good measure.
Another good chance again, though. Couldn't hold the run. Been quite a few offsides between these two sides tonight.
It's great from Mead, though. Slot it through.
Just about. It's a tight one, but just about. Puts it wide anyway. That a good chance to seal the game. She was onside, though. And I feel that's what Arsenal need right now. Is to just to put this game to bed. Don't allow anything silly to happen.
Forced into the mistake. Out now for a throw.
I'm trying to think if Real Madrid have got any more rolls of the dice. I think that they already made 4 changes.
So yeah, one more step.
They made their move. They're just going to make it count now. Oh, that's not a good pass from Angeldal. Still
Russo now. Can she get the shot away? She does! Wide of the mark again from Alessia Russo.
So this is the Alessia Russo show at the moment. Feels like the only Arsenal player that can cause any problems for Real Madrid. Does well to ride the challenge from Mendes. And then, yeah, just drags it wide. Another chance, though, from Russo for the hat-trick and to put the game to bed.
Ball forwards from Shayla. Headed back by Weir. And now across to Angeldal. Lacra. Here's Yasmin. Caicedo. Waits for the overlapping run. Plays in Yasmin. Ball in. It's blocked into the hands of Van Donselaar.
Crucial nick that off Emily Fox. She took it closer to her goalkeeper and away from the onrushing fella.
Of course, the defending lead is surely time for Stina. Is she on yet? No change up front. No, Alessia Russo still leads the line. Only change for Arsenal have been the 2 wingers. And Mead has come on and looked very sharp on that right wing.
I'm surprised they've not made more changes, Arsenal. Shuffle the pack, rest up some play. Oh, I see it's the national break, isn't it?
I say 2-1, and yeah. I just want to see this game out, get the Champions League win. Okay, down the line. Well held up by Ford. Now Caldente, McCabe. Back to Caldente. Wants to carry it forwards. Now Cooney cross. Feeds it through. Alessia Russo's in. Big stop. And the offside flag goes up again.
So I think that might be Black Senius in disguise. The amount of times Russo's been offside tonight. Good save from Rodriguez anyway, but as you say, flag up again.
Dorado. Angeldal.
Big 10 minutes.
Dorado. Back to Mela Lacra. Lacra. Bounces it off Yasmin. Lacra again. Dorado. And Shayla Garcia knocks it down the line. Ambitious ball. And Van Donselaar, no issues coming to collect it. With Moy. Van Donselaar, now Catley.
Again, Paul from Arsenal at the back.
One out of the pitch here. Pass through the lines to Dorado. Now Shayla. Ball in, header, miss.
Oh,
Misses
wow.
it. Caicedo can't quite get near the back post. And Mead carries the ball away.
That's got to be the wake-up call for Arsenal.
Wow, with Mike Fox. With Weir again. The press come from Weir. Down the line, Yasmin sends it back forwards. Headed down. Strike from range from Angeldal. Claimed well by Van Domselaar.
Wow, everybody missed that ball across the box, including Van Domselaar. But no one in a rounded shirt could steer it home. Great ball in. Everybody missing it. And it just bounces across the face of goal. Oh, Rounded cleared it into each other, and that's put forward through.
Ball cut across. Marnham, and that's cut out. And now here come Real Madrid, Dorado. Back now to Rodriguez.
It's nervy. Nervy from both sides, really is. Can't say another foul there. But what a chance Real Madrid. How has no one managed to get on the end of that? And can't say that. Just tell everyone to calm down. Understandably so.
And a change here for Real. They tried to do a moment ago. The ref. Well, it just didn't happen there. But it is Yasmin off, Santiago on. That is a left back for a striker. Real are going for the game.
Yeah. They want to win it. I respect that. Fair play.
Mendes plays it forwards. Held up well.
Oh, what a tackle.
Santiago can't quite get there. Catley does well. Now Mead and Arsenal have got room to use in attacking areas. Caldente. And Marnham. McCabe. Inside to Caldente. Catley. Caldente plays out to the left-hand side. McCabe, ball in. Played away well. Now Dorado. Plays it forwards. Santiago. Good hold up. Lays it back to Shayla. Got to be urgency now from Real Madrid.
We haven't had many stoppages either, so they can't really rely on too much additional time. Got to use the time they got at the moment.
Mendes. Now Lacroix.
Moment they're doing the Arsenal, just passing around the centre half while they need to go.
Mendes. Shayla. Now Koikala. Back to Shayla. Lovely. Work down the right side. McCabe caught out. Ball into the box.
Oh, what a chance.
Santiago's gone for a flick in that moment. McCabe launches it forwards. Brilliant from Real Madrid. Lovely work down the right-hand side. McCabe absolutely done.
Neither McCabe or Ford had gone with that. And yeah, just can't afford to try and flick it over at this point. Got to make contact with it. Just smash it.
That's great pressure from Ford. Here's Marnham. That's one back in there by Dorado. Now Shayla does really hard to keep that in touch. Ford can't even foul her. And there will be a free kick in there. Well, she does foul her.
More changes coming. This has got to be for Arsenal. Oh, no, apparently not.
Shayla. Weir. Mendes. Dorado. Pass around the corner to Caroline Weir. Mendes.
Everyone's too far away from her almost.
Weir. Mendes again. Weir. Carries it into Koikala. Dorado and Koikala combine. Now Mendes. Real probing. Arsenal sitting deep. Here's Dorado. Exchanges with Shayla. Dorado. Koikala. Dorado. Nice football. Tries to play through the lines. Moy cuts it out. Dorado does well in there. And that's too strong from Lacroix.
I did not expect to see this at this point in the game. Arsenal defending their own 18-yard box and Real Madrid the ones on the ball and trying to probe through. Yeah, 4 minutes of normal time plus additional for Real Madrid to find an equaliser. Arsenal hanging in there at the moment. And working well. McCabe did go down and is hobbling. I think Arsenal are hoping to make the change and sub her off. That's not going to happen, but now the referee's going to... McCabe's going to sit back down again. I'm not really sure what's happening with the subs tonight.
Waved on.
He doesn't want the physio, she wants the sub. They've had a couple of those. They had a minute ago. The referee doesn't seem to want to let everyone make any subs.
No. She's booked someone on the Arsenal bench now. Or no, I think it might be the other bench. No, it's the Arsenal bench.
I don't know if it was Slagers or not, but I mean they're rightfully frustrated because they're just not letting anyone. They're not letting anyone make any changes.
I mean, well, she knows this is time wasting from McCabe, but yeah.
Well, this bit is, but to be fair, McCabe wanted to come off when she first went down. She got up ready to make the sub, and the ref was going to play on before they made the sub, so she's gone back down again. I'm not really sure why they didn't just let Arsenal make the sub in the first place.
Yeah, but they did this for an hour earlier.
Exactly. I don't know what.
Odd.
They're not allowed to make subs.
Not sure the ref's happy.
Yeah, maybe not.
McCabe making way now for Taylor Hines.
There we go.
And then we've seen a black chance as well for Alessia Russo.
No hat-trick for Russo then. Had the chances. Could have killed the game off. But yeah, if Arsenal do win this game, they can thank Alessia Russo's head. Because that is why they lead by 2-1. And yeah, Blackstone is just going to come on, stretch the play, make things difficult, run after that Real Madrid backline. 2 minutes that took to do some subs. Brilliant.
Well, the ref did show the Arsenal bench that she was going to come on all of the time.
True.
Cleared forwards now, headed away by Catley. Brought down well by Weir. Now wants to release Koikala. Hines gets there. Here's Ford who slips over. Shayla. Blocked well by Caldente. Now plays Blackstenius in. Drifts inside. Ford. Out to the right hand side. Here is Mead. Fox. Cuts it back. Blocked well.
Exactly what Arsenal needs. Just to stretch the play, get Blackstenius on there, get them up the pitch. Because
they can use this corner now.
Exactly.
And they shouldn't let it out of the corner.
They've got a corner. Means Real Madrid aren't going to score. No, and Arsenal, they put this one in the box, it will get cleared and they'll get hit on the counter. Please tell me someone's going to go short. Please tell me someone's going to go short. Oh my days. You are telling me at 2-1 in a crucial Champions League match, in the 89th minute, Arsenal had a witness ball in the box.
You surely not.
Cannot be seen. Yeah, they are. Me's going to put this in the box.
Goes in, it's paid off. Hasn't gone in. Here's Hines.
And Real Madrid have broken away from that.
Fox. Hines. Blocked well. And then cleared away. Drops down for Caldente. Guess they get the second goal.
True.
But
for a second minute, just go short and hold it in the corner. Because they could still be in the corner.
Guess we're anticipating a decent amount of time, and it will be 5 minutes of additional time in this game.
They need the ref. Real Madrid need the ref from earlier. They want to play as long as possible.
Shayla sends it forwards, headed away by Caldente. Weir. Nice turn under pressure. Mendes. Back now to Misa Rodriguez. Lacra under pressure. Launches it forwards. Cut out by Ruben Moy, but only to Weir. Ooh. And they're in here. Chance now for Real Madrid. Shot straight down the throat of Andon Salah. For Redondo, but Ruben Moy headed it down. No one from Real Madrid reacted. And Alba Redondo should do a lot better with this.
Just didn't seem to get any pace behind her. Ball fell to
Great clearance there by Van Donselaar. She seemed to scuff it off her shin rather than make any meaningful contact. Has worked out though as Arsenal won the ball back. Arsenal throw in now on the far side. Mela Lacroix not happy.
That was a big chance for Redondo. Needed to test Van Donselaar more than she did. Fox taking her sweet time over this throw-in.
Marnham. Ball in. That's cleared away well. And here come Real Madrid. Great drive forwards. Shayla Garcia. Now Mendes. Ball forwards, well hold up. By Santiago, still on. And here comes forward. Plays it inside. Blackstairs makes the run in behind. Lacroix will keep up with her and she wins it back well. Here's Rodriguez who lashes it forwards. Now referee calls the offside flag. That is a terrible decision. Didn't Real Madrid come forwards there.
There's delay the flag, but then
you either delay it there, you either give the flag there, or when Real Madrid get it back, you just let them play on. And now Arsenal will be able to slow time down even more the sub as well. Cooney Cross.
Still not counting Tate,
making way. No, of course not.
You rest Cooney Cross up for 2 minutes.
If they get a penalty, and then who would take it? Cadina's coming on at centre half.
Blimey.
5 back to see it out now for Arsenal. Volarenya draw.
I mean, Arsenal do want this.
That's disappointing for them.
Yeah. They're 2-0 up as well. Should have done better there.
Indeed. Thrown on the near side for Real Madrid. Dorado. Now Rodriguez.
They're going to do it. It's going to be late.
Dorado. Sends it forward, sent away by Catley. Drops in there now for Garcia. Manages just to poke it back to Lacroix. Now lifts over the top. That run all the way through to Daphne Van Donselaar. Who launches out the pitch. Headed on in there by Mead. Blacksenius Calente. Sit down the line. Here is Ford. Plays it inside. And Martin tries to poke it wide. And now Angledal. Knocks it over the top. Hines heads down. Good defending there from Taylor Hines. Calente. Back to Hines. Now Calente. Marnham. Fox. Plays it wide to Mead. Looks to cut inside. Here come Arsenal. Well dealt with by Weir. Angledal. Lifting over the top. Feels like Real Madrid won't have enough time here. Cadena does well just to shield that out of play. Arsenal goal kick now.
Feel like they've done enough. Feel like Arsenal have seen this through. Not been pretty, not been at their best, but got the job done bar any major miracle.
That's true. Straight out of play by Van Donselaar. Ref happy to continue for now. Garcia. Dorado. Got to happen now for Real Madrid. Got to go forwards. Not a great ball forwards from Rodriguez. Fox heads away. Marnham hooks away. Here is Blackstenius. And you think that's it now for Real. Pokes it into Mead. Who's going to take it to the corner. And with that, you'd expect the final whistle. And there it is. Full time here at Meadow Park. Arsenal 2, Real Madrid 1. It wasn't a pretty performance, but they got it over the line. They got the 3 points, and that could prove crucial in securing qualification for the Champions League playoffs. Takes them up to 8 in the league phase. And while there are teams to play tomorrow, we could see Atletico, we could see OH Leuven, we could see Bayern jump them and still lead them in the playoffs at the end of the game week, which is the most important thing. But yeah, not the most incredible performance from Arsenal, but productive. They got the win.
Exactly that. They got the job done, especially with what the situation looked like at half time. Could have been much worse come the full-time whistle. But Alessio Russo's head with 2 goals has given Arsenal a big 3 points. So well done to Alessio Russo and Forehead. But yeah, big win for Arsenal, exactly what they needed. Been a tough run recently. You wouldn't want to go into the international break having not won any last 4. So ending this mini session of games on a high, 2 weeks now with their international teams and then back to it before the winter break. So yeah, an important win, you feel, for Arsenal, not only in the context of the Champions League, but also just their season as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, it feels integral they get that Champions League qualification, integral they get back to winning ways. That is everything from us this evening. Remember, we are not live for tomorrow's Champions League action as we are at the Football Content Awards. Hopefully, we come back with something to celebrate. That would be a fun Thursday evening. Other than that, there will be a video out on Friday. Look out for that. That is already scheduled and ready to go. Something a little bit different. So go and check that out. And if you're looking for something to watch now and you want to find out how Man City dominated the Manchester Derby, then go and check out that video on the channel now. That is everything from us today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.